All right, guys, we're live, and welcome to the MURF and EDUBBS show on your Saturday morning for a little Saturday fun with the MURF and EDUBBS show. What's up, dude? I haven't seen you in a while.
What's up, Murph? How you doing? Yeah, we missed last week, so it's good to be back.
Yeah, exactly. You know, life gets a little crazy, and I flaked out on you a couple of times this week, and I do apologize for that.
That's okay, no problem. Thursday I was in the city. I mean, it's a busy time of year, Rich. A lot of stuff going on with the holidays, and then life on top of it and stuff. So work and
what were you
everything.
doing? What were you doing in Manhattan this week?
I had to take my wife for her pre-op visit. She's having ankle surgery in a couple of weeks, so
Oh, okay.
we were like on the Upper East Side, which is a pain in the neck if you're taking the train down. So we decided to drive. And you set the Waze app before you leave, and it says, "Oh yeah, you'll get there in no time." And the time keeps going up and up and up, and I'm saying,
Yeah.
"Wow, we're just going along. How could it be?" And then we get to the FDR Drive, and there's an accident. So, and I understand there's accidents, Rich, and you're trying to get around but these douchebags that go on the shoulder that try to pass you and then try to merge back in, are they really getting ahead? They're just causing more traffic and stuff like that.
Yeah, you guys should have just taken the train.
It's tough. It's tough. It was easier. And then we get to the parking garage, and I go down the garage. The guy goes, "Oh, you got to back out." So this garage only has one way in and one way out. So the guys had to come out. So the guy comes out. I go down the ramp again. No, you got to back. So 2 times, Rich, I had to back into 70th Street with people walking, cars all over the place. But I think I did it like a pro. And I was driving in the city when I was 17, Rich. So I had
Right.
many years driving in the city. I used to work at John Jay Park, which is right by where we were, but it's on 78th and New York Avenue. It's a pool. And I used to manage that snack bar stand there. So I used to drive in every day from Jersey to the city at 17. And, being friends with police officers, I got the Park Anywhere in the City pass back then. So,
Nice.
having girlfriends and parking right on 7th Avenue and 42nd Street really impressed the girls back then, Rich. Hey,
Ah.
how can you park in Times Square? It's like, watch this, leave the car and I'm gone, so that was nice to have, but of course,
So EDUBBS did have some game back. EDUBBS, you did have some game back in the day with the ladies.
you go into Carmine's, you flash the 3-hour wait, you flash a $20 bill. Now it's more than 20. Back then 20 was pretty impressive, but did my homework and stuff. There was no Google back then on how to do this stuff. Just don't like to wait, Rich.
Yeah. I hear you. But did you do any? Did you walk around at all while you were waiting for Jody, or did you just?
No, we had to go to 3 appointments, and we just walked up to the 2nd Avenue Deli. Got some good stuff. It was the first night of Hanukkah, so that stuff is good on the first night of Hanukkah. And then brought some back for my father-in-law. So it was a long day and stuff.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. Listen, we know each other a long time, but I never really hear you talk about any of the Jewish holidays at all. I don't know. I know you obviously celebrate them, but what is it like? It's Hanukkah, like in your house. I know some people really go overboard and celebrate it like Christmas, and then there's other people that just they observe it. How are you what are your feelings when it comes to Hanukkah? What do you guys do for Hanukkah?
Not really religious, Rich. So we do have
Right.
a little Christmas tree with decorated lights and everything. Got lights upstairs in the office I work in for work. So it's really nothing. It's just it's a holiday and stuff. I'm very respectful about the holidays and stuff. But it's a celebration. It's a everything goes on this time of year, so you can't really be uptight or anything. I mean, the whole happy holiday, Merry Christmas thing, whatever it is, I mean, just be happy people are talking to you and stuff like that. That's my old gig and stuff. I mean, I've seen fights in the past, Rich, about that. The happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I've seen a woman with a cross hanging down, big cross, wishing somebody happy holidays, and the other woman goes, "No, it's Merry Christmas." But you just want to be nice to people, Rich, this time of year. I mean, there's so much going on in the world. Can't we just be nice to each other and stuff? And just be happy somebody's talking to you. If somebody says Merry Christmas to me, I'll say Merry Christmas back. Doesn't matter. Somebody says Happy Holidays, Happy Holidays. So whatever it is, just be happy someone's talking to you, Rich. There could be the alternative.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of feel that way too. I used to be adamant. People know that I expect say Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays. I used to be a very big Merry Christmas guy, not Happy Holidays. But that's a couple of years ago. I guess as I'm getting older, I just rethink about things. That either I thought in the past or the way I felt in the past about certain things. And, as you get older, I guess, your mindset changes on certain things. And that whole thing with the Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas thing, my mindset's changed on that. You're right. Just as long as people are talking to you and observing you and saying, anything, Merry Christmas, happy, whatever it may be. You're right. Whatever it is, even if even if you don't celebrate the specific holiday they're wishing you, it's just say thank you and, move on. That's
Exactly.
That's kind of where we're at now, right?
You could be saying it to an atheist too, so you don't know who you're talking to anymore nowadays.
Well, yeah.
So just say happy holidays and move on. Even call them, even say Merry Christmas, Happy Chinese Food Day, whatever. So whatever it is, something.
Right. But you know what it is though, too. Like I'm admittingly, I am not religious at all. Like I guess I used to be, but I am not religious in the least. Like, I've lost faith in the church as I've lost faith in politics as well. So they both go hand in hand. So I've lost faith in both of them. So, but I still celebrate Christmas. It's a nice time of year, but so I think when I start thinking about that, it's like, I don't celebrate Christmas so much as like, I guess Jesus being born. I do get into the hoopla, the Merry Christmas and the lights and the decoration, and giving gifts to the kids and stuff like that. But, I look at it more of a reflection of just to be thankful. Like, I'm not thinking there a reflection of like, oh, Jesus was born, whatever. The story is what it is. But I guess when people say that they look at their specific holiday from I guess, somebody said something to me recently that said that they're not religious, they're spiritual. And that really made, that really hit a nerve with me, because I thought that was a very smart way of explaining it, because not everybody has to, adhere to a certain religion, whether it be Jewish, Roman Catholic, Baptist, whatever it may be. But they do. I think everybody has some sort of spirituality that comes from within, whether you believe in God or whatever it is. But I think around Christmas time, and I think that's when you really start thinking about the spirituality, and especially if you're lucky enough to have children and to be married and be in a good place. Like, that's like the most things that you're really thankful for in life is, you have a healthy family, and, you have, and you have your health, so I think it's more of a spiritual aspect for me as opposed to like a religious one.
Yeah, and like I said, the Hanukkah thing with gifts, that's a North American thing. That's a U.S. thing. The Jewish kids wanted gifts, so okay, so we give gifts on Hanukkah now. So it never was like that. Go back about 70, 80 years when the gift giving began on Hanukkah, basically. So in the United
because
States.
that's kind of and I understand where the gift giving comes in the Catholic religion. I mean, I guess see, again, this is what my interpretation comes from. Like, as far as like interpreting certain religions, like, I'm positive, well, maybe I'm not positive, the gift giving aspect that comes from the three kings coming to see Jesus to give him the gold, frankincense, and myrrh. I'm going to have to, I shouldn't assume, but maybe that's where it came from, where you get gifts on Christmas, you get gifts on Christmas because Jesus was born. So Jesus got gifts. So why don't we celebrate it on January 10th? It is what it is. There's got to be some kind of symbolism when it comes to that. But that's what I was going to ask you. Like, is there any type of symbolism that comes with like besides the menorah, the gift giving? So you said there's really no. Said the Catholic kids are getting gifts. I want the Jewish kids are getting gifts too.
Yeah, just basically, hey, they're getting gifts. Why can't we get gifts?
Yeah.
So, and if anybody wants to, learn about Hanukkah, just listen to Adam Sandler. He's got 3 songs about it. So
great. Yeah, it's great, and that's, again, people just being able to laugh at themselves and laughing at what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, I put my favorite running back that's spinning the dreidels, AJ Dillon. Now AJ Dillon is African American, of course, and he's Jewish too. So people like, how can that be? But there are a lot of African American Jews out there. So do your homework. Don't be ignorant. Just do a Google maybe. Find out.
Yeah, exactly. So that being said, are you into the holiday season, or are you just kind of like dipping your toes in the water?
No, Rich, I'm really into it this year for some reason. I don't know why. I got myself got a nice jacket for myself. LL Bean last weekend. I got something called a tidbit. A tidbit is it's like when you're in the bar, they always had that thing that with the information gave the scores on it and stuff like that. So I got one of those. So it just pops up the scores. So it feels like I'm, sitting in the bar. Don't have to get my phone. I can get the scores scrolling on this little device and stuff, So, Jody got a computer. So, we just, I'm never the guy that, asks for gifts. I always buy what I need, I mean, I'm like the guy that has everything. So somebody says, what can I get you? I said, well, I'm the guy to just give me a gift card, and let me stretch that, So how about you, Rich? What do you,
listen, I just recently, I'm into the holiday season, man. Like, when you start listening to Christmas music on the radio, and then you put the Christmas lights up, I got my Christmas tree in the background, television, I got It's a Wonderful Life is pretty much, when someone's not watching something, it's pretty much on. It's on all day because I love that movie. That's, that's an all-time favorite, movie of mine, especially around the holidays, because there's so much meaning behind it. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
yeah,
it's a good movie, and that's like, it's usually on in my house. So I'm into it. We've looked around. We got the kids most of the stuff that they want. My kids are older now, like just like Ben. If they want something, it's like we're gonna buy it for them, and they pretty much know. But we also still want to give them some surprises. And listen, my kids are 19 and 16, and my wife is adamant about them still being, Santa Claus still brings the gifts. So they still get gifts from Santa Claus. And every time my kids would question it, even at the age when they're starting to question it, my wife would always say, is like, you don't want to ruin the magic. And that's another thing that I think around Christmas time is a lot of magical things happen around Christmas time. Just for some reason, magical things happen. And again, and I'm sure it has to do with everybody else just feeling a certain way around the holidays, because it's energy, like I said, and just like the gift giving aspect, making my kids happy. We're into it. We're into it. My son went to the city the other day with his school to go see Hamilton. He said,
Nice.
how beautiful the city is, it's all lit up. But yes, I am into it. And like you said, gifts, like I'm not a guy like get me this, get me that for Christmas, because you're right, I'll just go out and grab it. But we're starting to get into vinyl albums around here. We got a little vinyl, we got a record player, and Aiden's really taking a liking to a lot of them. And we've started to listen to the albums here. And like I sent something the other day, like I wanted the Iron Maiden Live After Death album. And that's the one thing I said, listen, if you guys want to get me something, you can get me this for Christmas. Like that's one of my all-time favorite albums and favorite live albums. So we'll see if there's a Christmas gift on the Christmas tree from Santa Claus for Dad this year.
Yeah, I just want to bring it up. So I gave Ben a list. I said, well, what do you want? And to show the maturity of what a 20-year-old is now, he didn't ask for one video game, Rich. That shows like our kids are getting older, they're turning into men and stuff like that. Oh, I want a gift card to Woodbury Common to buy some pants. I want a gift card to DSW so I can buy some shoes. It's like, okay. And I hope I don't want to tell you what I've got him if he's listening now, but there will be some sports related stuff too under the but Rich, you were talking about your Christmas tree. I'm wondering if your hat there, if there'll be some merchandise from the hat that you're wearing there, the company on your hat there.
What hat am I wearing? I'm just trying to say,
you're in the B dot, right? Isn't that the dispensary?
Be myself. Just tell me to be myself. Where is it? Right there.
I thought that was the dispensary.
Possibly. Listen, I'm wearing this hat. They do a great job up there, man. They get the medical dispensary up here, on Route 9 B. They do a phenomenal job. Like I was saying to you in the past, I'm hoping to get one of the pharmacists up there for an interview. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there might be something under the Christmas tree from the dispensary. But I'm the only one that could go in there because I got the medical card.
So you're trying to be a pharmacist up there, Rich? Where'd you get your PhD?
Yeah. No, I'm trying to do an interview with the head pharmacist.
Oh, understood. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
And she's really cool. I forgot her name, but she's really, really cool. Like I emailed back and forth with her a couple of times, but they're really busy around the holidays. But possibly after the holidays, I'm gonna have an interview with her. And she's in that field, and she's very adamant about marijuana being for medical purposes, and it helps a lot of different things. And she's like 62 years old, and she's very smart. So yeah. She works up there, and it's up on Route 9. And if you guys have your medical cards going up there, they got a great staff up there. So, they're very helpful and they're knowledgeable. They'll give you whatever aches you, whether it's your brain, your shoulder, your knee, your elbow, whether you pick the wrong teams in sports like the Jets and the Mets, that's very helpful after a Met and Jet loss.
Understood. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit, but you spoke about the vinyl records, right? So isn't it crazy how we go back in time with all this stuff sometimes, Rich? The records went out, the CDs came in, the CDs went out. Now it's all electronic files, whatever, streaming. But now the vinyls are coming back. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
No, I know. No, it does make sense. You know why it makes sense? And I think this is why it makes sense, Eric. Listen, I've been to music my entire life. Now you go to Spotify, right? You listen to whatever song you want to listen to. You pull it up, you listen to the song. Back then, when you would buy an album or even a CD for that matter too, or a tape, it was an experience because you would open up the book, you would open up the jacket, and there'd be artwork in there. They would tell you maybe the lyrics to the songs would be in there, but it would just tell you the name of the band. Sometimes where they would play. It was just an experience when you opened up the album. Like when you opened up like a Pink Floyd album. Like Dark Side of the Moon, it's like real plain front. You open it up, and it's like all these cool colors inside. It tells you about the music and where they played, where it was recorded. So I think, hopefully, maybe the younger generation is getting back into a substance thing, like as far as like they have to feel something. In other words, and not just push a button and send a text to your friend, or push a button to hear the new Drake song, or oh wow, well, my mom and dad listen to Led Zeppelin. Let's find it on Spotify. No, go out and buy the album. You know what I mean? It's like. And I understand that these musicians, and they make a ton of money. They're loaded. They're rich. But but that's what they signed up for, and they're very talented. And it's like, a lot of the streaming services and stuff like that. That's why Mick Jagger is touring at 80 years old. He still wants nice things. You know what I mean? So now his music is just downloaded. It's not an experience anymore. Aiden's got about 12 albums right now, and he had me put little shelves up. And he's got them hanging up around his room.
Oh, wow.
And if he wants to listen to one, he'll take it down. It's a conversation starter. You walk into somebody's house, like, you're not used to seeing vinyl records. Like, oh my God, somebody walks in, like, somebody around our age, 50-something-year-old friend. It's like, holy shit. Like, I haven't seen that album. I haven't seen that Allman Brothers album in years. The Beatles, the White Album. Holy shit. And it's a conversation starter because everybody in some way, shape, or form correlates with music. They know where they were when they heard a song. They know they have a favorite band. And again, you can't tell me that my favorite band sucks because your favorite band's better. No, it's like, that's what makes music great. It's like anybody could find something that they like and find something that they could just make their own and be like, wow, I love this band. I don't care if anybody else doesn't like it. You know what I mean? Or you may like, that's what music is universal to me. And I think with the bringing back of like the vinyl albums, it's allowing the kids to look and say, wow, this really was an experience. I could sit down, I could put the needle on the record. Aiden bought the Tribe Called Quest album. I forgot how awesome that album cover was. It's like, but it's becoming an experience again. And I think that's in a step in the right direction when it comes to, creativity and stuff like that with the younger generation, where it's not just social media, click on Snapchat or click on, on whatever, social media plug they are. You know what I mean? So I think maybe it may be more substance being brought back. You know what I mean? As far as like just having something physical in your hands.
And what about the prices on these albums? Are they high?
Outrageous. Now, listen, they're a lot, but you know what though? Comparatively, I don't know, probably not, because you could buy an album back in the day, 1982, for what, $14, $15. It's like now, they're popular. They don't make as many as they were. They're not pumping as many out. So, Aiden will find out then. Like I got Aiden the Nirvana Nevermind. It was $44 for the Nirvana Nevermind album. But again, he's gonna listen to it. He's gonna put it up on his wall. He's going to have a friend walk in or a girlfriend or something, be like, oh, wow, look at that album. Again, conversation starter. He knows about music. My son's really learning a lot about music. So it's very refreshing to hear him say that I want the Nevermind album, or I bought him like the Tribe Called Quest album. Like it's broadening his horizons in music and making him, not just be so just one direction. Like I like Drake and I like Kanye. No, it's like, all right, there's other good shit out there too. And he's actually seeing it. It's like hanging up on his wall. So I think the Nirvana Nevermind album is a classic, and I was happy to buy it for him.
Wow, maybe we'll see Sam Goody come back, Rich, where you can buy those albums.
Yeah, what's Tower Records or something like that?
Yeah, Tower Records. Yeah. Then it became Tower Video, I think, and now it's Tower Nothing. So
there's a whole documentary on, dude. There's a whole documentary on Tower Records, how they were huge, and then one day they just like the Indianapolis Colts, they just closed up shop and were out.
It's crazy. They were in the Village, right, Rich? Or
yeah,
they were right? Yeah. There
was one on 14th Street, a huge one by Union Square, and then there was one downtown. I think it was off. I think it might have been Broome, down on Broome over there.
And they had another place too. There was a place, Bleecker Bob's on Bleecker, and they had a bunch of albums too, like old ones and stuff. I don't know if they're still around or anything, but my brother used to work on Bleecker and in the Village over there and stuff. So
we had this guy this guy right down here. Like I don't, where I live over here, like by where the pizzeria is, that little strip over there.
Oh yeah,
he's got great stuff in there. He's got a lot of music stuff. He's got sports memorabilia but he knows his shit. He's got awesome albums in there. He's got old record players, and he's a pretty stand-up guy. Like, he allows you to sell stuff out of there, but he's really smart. He knows about his stuff. The guy that was there before him was kind of like, fly by night. He didn't really know what he was doing. This guy's into it, man. And like, he's got a lot of cool shit in there.
Is that a Fishkill address, or is it that other town, whatever it's called?
It's right before you get to the border of Schwartzville.
They asked for my passport last time when I drove past there, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah. But, you tell me you know me. I live right on the border. Tell me you know me.
Exactly. Hey, maybe the taxes are less there. You should move there. You were talking about Christmas movies before, Rich. My favorite Christmas movie is The Christmas Carol. Love it. And especially the Mr. Magoo version. You ever see the Mr. Magoo version?
Yes, I have. I have.
For 55 years, I wanted a bowl of raspberry dressing. Is there anybody that has raspberry dressing out there?
Now, are you serious? You always like the Christmas Carol?
Oh, I like the older version too. I like the really old version. Nothing like waking up on Christmas morning watching that. Even if it's like, usually they have it on at 5 a.m. It's an hour and a half, whatever. And it's very grainy, the sound and stuff. But yeah, I love the Christmas Carol. It's great movie. It never gets old, no matter what version you watch.
Listen, for me, It's a Wonderful Life never gets old, and I know it's part of a newer one, but dude, Elf never gets old.
Oh, Elf is great. Yeah, I saw it on. I saw Elf at the Garden. They had it on stage and stuff, or on Broadway somewhere. But Elf is great. Great movie.
The movie with Will Ferrell, dude, you've seen that, right?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, of course. Of course.
Listen, that movie is belly laugh funny. Like every single line in that movie is funny.
Yeah, but the funniest line ever, not in this movie you're talking about. The funniest line ever is "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal."
Where's that from?
That's
from
Home Alone. Home Alone, right?
Home Alone. Home Alone. Yeah. Yes, that over the years became a Christmas movie, just like Die Hard did. Die Hard and Home Alone.
Yeah, they all become. Yeah, and the Christmas Story. I mean, how can you not like the Christmas Story every year, right?
Yeah, you know what though, and they tried to come back with a new one last year, and it was
it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
But the first 1 or 2 times that you see Christmas Story with the Red Ryder BB gun and you'll shoot your eye out, kid, and that's a great movie too, man.
Oh yeah, I love the Santa Claus when they're waiting online and stuff. Hilarious, yeah. And of course the Chinese food at the end, right? Nothing like duck on Christmas, but when they take it to your table and cut the head off right in front of you, then it's maybe it's not the good thing to do to duck, right? But it's so good. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait for another couple.
You think the fact that we have beef with China right now? You think that they did that scene in the movie? I think that we'd be canceled or something. You said fa ra 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 ra. You think that?
But you know what though, Rich? Every movie that had to be canceled in the past, Airplane, all these movies, Naked Gun, Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, all these movies.
Revenge of the Nerds would never ever make it, dude.
Oh my God, and I put on Facebook. It was Booger's. Do you believe Booger's 70 years old, Rich?
Yeah, I saw that, dude. You posted that the other day. I can't believe.
You remember they had the Olympics and stuff, and he did the burping on the microphone. Classic movie, Rich. None of these Blazing Saddles, none of these movies would be alive. No. It's crazy. No. So we have to retain some of our history, though, Rich, with some of these movies and stuff. I mean, Revenge of the Nerds, Part 1. Part 2 and Part 3, the father driving the kids. Hey, you guys gonna drop you off? You guys can get laid this year and stuff. Try saying that now and stuff. How many people would be against that and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
what the funny say? Right off the bat, you're cracking up on that movie and stuff, right?
Yeah, I know. It's really funny, but they don't allow classics. They don't allow classics like that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And I want to give a shout out, Rich. This new restaurant opened in town, Salsa Fresca. I don't know if you ever heard of it or been there or anything.
I saw it. Yeah,
it opened 2 weeks ago. I've been there 4 times already. It's amazing. It's 110% better than Chipotle.
It's a chain.
It's a chain. Yeah, they're local. They have not really. I can't say it's local. They're all over New York, I guess. I don't know if they're outside of New York, but they had one in Poughkeepsie. Up across from Marist, but the one that opened here, it's amazing. And
it's one on Route 9. They just opened up.
Yeah, Route 9. It's right by the diner, Red Line.
Yeah, Red Line Diner. Yeah, I saw it.
Yep. Okay. So it's really good.
Maybe I'll check it out.
And when I go in, Rich, I say, "Me das un tazan, por favor." May I have a bowl, please? So they're a little hard in speaking English. I'm touching. One of my goals next year is to learn Spanish, Rich. I have a lot of free time now, and Jody's gonna be tied up with her surgery for like 6 months almost. So we're not gonna be going too much. So I think we're gonna do a husband-wife activity. We're gonna do Rosetta Stone. We're gonna take Spanish, and it kind of looks good on the resume nowadays too. Learning another language can be another $10,000 in your paycheck.
Well, wait a second. Why are you learning Spanish? Are you going to be one of these guys that's taken in one of these migrant families?
No.
Are you going to be taken in one of these migrant families? I'm going to have to keep my eye on you. Why you want to all of a sudden want to learn Spanish?
Just hobbies. I mean, you'll see when your boys are out and you're an empty nester, you need to do some hobbies. So I mean, when I see 4 El Salvadorian kids washing your car over the summer, bro, I don't know about that. No, it's not going to happen. I have the unlimited at Foam and Wash, so that's not going to happen. That unlimited is amazing. I wash my car sometimes 3 times a day. Wow. I get my money's worth. The car wash it's like $50 a month, but each car wash can be $25. So I figure if I go maybe 60 times a month, I'm really beating the man on that. So
it's all about beating the man.
So it's good. And Rich, anything else for Christmas that you want? It's always the rainbow cookie.
Oh, look. Oh my God, you're killing me eating that. I'm so hungry right now. I didn't. Oh, actually, I had some eggs before, but I
Did you
didn't
go to
have a
Adams
shake.
this morning? I was looking for you at Adams. Were you there?
No, I didn't go to Adams. I kind of like I woke up really early this morning. I got up around like I was up around 5, but I got into a show I was watching. That's when I've been doing my TV watching really really early on the weekend before people wake up. I went back to work the other day, so I mean,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm gonna be I'm gonna have to disappear again for a little while. I'm gonna start working 7 days a week again for a couple of
Ah,
weeks. So yeah,
gotcha.
it's gonna be really. That's exactly what I wanted. But whatever. I'm gonna be working on I'm working down on doing the Chanel the
Oh yeah,
brand.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They have a store on Fifth Avenue. They're opening up
Yeah.
like I guess a jewelry part of it where like they literally, I think it's like by appointment only like
Oh,
jewelry sales, like multi-million dollar pieces of jewelry. Like we're it's a pretty cool job. But yeah, I'm
where
gonna
are
be
they on
working
Fifth Avenue, Rich? We're on Fifth.
right on 57th, right directly across from Trump Tower,
Oh, okay. There you go.
directly
Oh yeah,
west of the Trump Tower. Yeah, across the street.
the money
So
part of town, right? Yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna get
Okay.
Aiden's college situation all taken care of.
Good,
You know
good.
where he wants to go,
Going to
and yeah,
Cortland?
man. What's that?
Is he going to Cortland?
Yeah, that seems to be where he's leaning. Yeah, he
Hmm.
seems to be leaning the court, and he's got a couple other ones that he'd mentioned too. But I told him he's going to graduate this year from DCC with his business degree, and I don't know. He's been looking into like all these opportunities at ESPN and stuff like that. So
Nice,
I guess
nice.
he's got to he's going to start getting somewhat of a direction or a goal of like where he wants to go. He even said it was a good idea. He said that he wants to get himself like an iPad or something. He wants to start taking like notes on games and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like
there you
he
go.
wants to be a stat guy. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to be like me and you, like telling the stats. Like he wants to be the guy like getting the stats together for me and you.
Yeah, he doesn't
You
want to
know,
be like me and you on podcasts, right? Me sitting in the in a
no,
prison cell right now behind these
no,
bricks.
no. But what I told him though, I said, you know what? Why don't you pick a game and like analyze the entire game and just give it to me, and me and Eric will read it, just see how it sounds. You know what I mean? See how it sounds on the air. So you
If he wants to
know,
analyze a game, Rich, analyze the first home game at Yankee Stadium this year. That's the game you want to analyze, and I'll tell you why in a couple of minutes.
yeah. We, you know what? I think we got to get started on. So we got a lot to talk about when it comes to sports. Dude. We've been shooting the
Yeah,
shit about stuff, but
yeah,
we
we've
got a
been
lot
shooting
to
the shit
talk
for
about.
like 27 minutes here, so
Exactly. I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you or talked to you in a while, so we got a lot to
yeah,
talk about.
exactly, exactly.
You
Yeah,
know
we're
what
never
though?
at a loss, never at a loss for words, Rich. So
All right. Now listen. Is there anything you want to get to, like because I'm gonna go right into it. All right. You good?
well,
You
yeah,
ready?
it was a pretty quiet week, right? and
Very
then
quiet.
and then Wednesday hit.
All right. Now, you guys, the Yankees became the Yankees again. Okay. They got Juan Soto. Now we're gonna go through in a couple of minutes because you're the Yankee fan. You know some of these guys that the Padres got. Apparently, some of them are a couple pretty good a couple pretty good pitchers, and I don't know what they're gonna do with the catcher position now. Higgy's gone, so but dude, it doesn't matter. You if you're a Yankee fan and you find negativity in this trade, you have to have your pulse checked because that's just somebody that just wants to complain. And again, somebody made a really good comparison this week on Sports Talk Radio somewhere. Steeler fans and Yankee fans. You guys are all fire this guy. Get rid of this guy. This guy didn't play well. Like, and the Steelers are the same way. They want to get rid of Tomlin. But you know what, though? I think this move a couple of weeks ago, Cashman, what are you doing? You suck. You're out of here. You've been around too long. You should have been buried with George. It's like there's a lot of crazy shit going on the internet. Now this guy goes and he gets you. Now, I'm not going to say he is. I'm going to foreshadow a little bit. But you're getting a guy right now at the age he's at who could quite possibly go down as the healthy Mike Trout, the healthy version of Mike Trout. That is going to do the same thing that Mike Trout does. He's going to steal bases. He's going to hit the ball all over the field. Yankee Stadium with that short porch, adjustment in the swing with a good hitting coach, he'll hit 60 home runs behind Judge or in front of Judge. Now, again, this is just me and you talking on Sports Talk Radio, not the fact that the Mets haven't done anything yet, but we'll talk about them later. It's like, bravo to the Yankees on this because you know what? They finally stepped up and said to their fans, we're doing it. Let's fucking go. I know I'm not want to curse too much, but I think that is in their mindset. Yankee fans, let's go. Now, you're a big Yankee fan, and you're going to analyze this trade and tell me what it's about, but I want to know what your excitement level is. Before we talk about the logistics of it, that's fine. That you heard Juan Soto, one of the premier players, coming to your team to fill in your outfield with Aaron Judge. How do you feel as a Yankee fan right
Rich, I'm thrilled. I was a little adamant about some of the guys that went in the trade, but the Yankees.
Talk about your feeling first about getting like one of the quintessential great players right now.
Oh, yeah. Cashman was walking through Nashville with his balls in his hand. I mean, this is a bold move for the Yankees, probably one of the boldest moves they ever made. You know, you look at the best trade they ever made. Of course, it's Babe Ruth for $300,000 cash to the Red Sox. But you know, this ranks up there, Rich, with these trades that they ever made. I mean,
absolutely.
to get Juan Soto. Juan Soto is everything the Yankees have been calling for the past since they won the World Series 14 years ago. First of all, he's a lefty. You know, when the Yankees got Mike Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton, who was Mike Stanton at the time. When the Yankees got Giancarlo Stanton, Rich, they really didn't give up much. They gave up Starlin Castro, who's out of baseball now. He's playing in the Dominican. I saw him play at Citi Field a couple of weeks ago at that Dominican game. And the two players they gave up, the two minor leaguers never even played a game. So the Yankees won that trade. Yeah, you could say they won that trade. Stanton had a couple of good years. What happened was in 2017, Judge won the Judge was coming off his big year, his first year, and rookie of the year, whatever. And then Stanton was the MVP in the National League, so they decided to do that. The one problem with Stanton, Rich, he was a righty hitter. So, you know, okay, so we're getting the MVP, but he's a righty. You know how righties do in Yankees, and that's what the Yankees are doing for the past 6 years, is just bringing in righties. They brought in the lefties last year. It was Frenchie Cordero. It was Billy McKinnon. I mean, these aren't lefty hitters that you want in the lineup. These are guys that aren't going to hit the ball into the upper deck. What Juan Soto brings everything the Yankees needed the past 6 years, let's say. He doesn't strike out. His strikeout rate is 21% for his career. You look at Judge and Stanton, they're in the 30s. Judge is like 35% strikeout rate in his career. Stanton, believe it or not, he's lower than Judge at 31, but still. And we also got to talk about Alex Verdugo, too, who the Yankees brought in this week. So not only did the Yankees needed left-handers, they brought in three left-handed bats in the outfield. Trent Grisham, too, came over. Grisham. So Juan Soto, right? Career on-base percentage of over 400. Never finished below 400. What is that saying right there, Rich? The guy puts the ball in play. And you know, you look at Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs in 2022. Where was the protection behind Judge? Judge was walking so much. I'm surprised he even got a chance to get to 62 home runs, basically. I mean, he was hitting first in the lineup, Rich. You know, there's nobody behind. Who was behind him? Stanton? Stanton doesn't. And look, when Judge went out last year, you had Stanton as the top guy now, and Stanton just totally tanked last year. All the pressure is off Stanton right now. He's like the number 3 guy right now. I love the trade. I think Soto is probably one of the best players ever at his age right now, 25. He never gets hurt. He played 162 games last year, Rich. Who plays 162 games anymore, you know? And if you look at Trent Grisham, too, Grisham played 155 games. He's durable, too. So, yeah, I love the trade. You could rank this guy with Trout, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio. I mean, Soto is like the best player. Maybe he's not the best player in baseball. Maybe there's other guys out there. But coming into Yankee Stadium on opening day and hearing the fans in the bleachers do roll call for Juan Soto. That's why I said Aiden should cover this game if you want to analyze it. Yeah. Is it a rental? I think Soto is going to fall in love with New York, in the Bronx, let's say. If he has a great season, he's going to love the Bronx. And, you know, if it's a rental, well, so be it. If they win the World Series, that's great. If they don't, he moves on, which is kind of like not what you want. But I think he's going to fall in love with the Bronx, Rich. This is the perfect.
That's kind of like what I think. I think like this is something that could kind of like go. It could go really, really good for the Yankees, or it could literally go really, really bad. Because if he goes somewhere else, if he goes to free agency, and let's just say the Mets, because they're the richest team right now. Let's just say the Yankees offer him 500. The Mets say, you know what though, I'm going to give you 6, you know, or I'm going to give you 550. Or say like, you know, the Seattle Mariners want, whatever. Say somebody wants him there and give him the big bucks. That's a tragic move by Cashman. But if he stays, now this is something that if he goes, Cashman's fired.
Oh, no doubt. I was going to get into that, Rich. I was going to get into that. Yes.
But if he stays and if he signs a 3-year deal or whatever, he signs some kind of deal with the Yankees, it's a win. But it could easily go awry if he chooses to go somewhere else.
Well, look at his age, Rich. He's 25 years old right now. So he's going to probably want a 13-year deal, 14, 15-year deal. He's going to probably want to finish up where he goes, I think. I don't think it'll be a 3. I think it's going to be like one of these long-term deals and stuff like that. And that's the thing about this guy, too. He's 25 years old, Rich. Most of these guys get their first big payout when they're in their 30s, basically. Look at Ohtani. So the Yankees missed out on Ohtani in 2017. They got Stanton in the trade, whatever. Ohtani's a free agent now. Ohtani's he's over 30, I believe now, right? He's got to be over 30. Yeah. I mean, he's not pitching anymore either. He's like he's going to be a one-dimensional player. He's going to be a DH for somebody for like at least the next year and a half, basically. If he goes to Toronto, now what happens if let's say Vladimir Guerrero gets hurt? He could only DH. What happens in that scenario? I mean, we could talk about that in a minute. I know the big hype yesterday. Ohtani's on the plane going to Toronto, whatever. But getting back to Soto. Never gets hurt, durable. The guy's an all-around player, Rich. And you're right. If they don't re-sign this guy, that means the Yankees aren't doing their work, and Cashman's got to be out. But it's funny because they had the analytics come in with the Yankees. We've seen what the Yankees done the past couple of years. Nothing. And the thing with Soto too, Rich, the Yankees always get their guy, whether it's CeCe Sabathia, Garrett Cole. It seems like the Yankees, when they want to do it, they will get their guy. And you know what? If Uncle Stevie outbids them, I think they come back and they up and up. There's just no way this guy is going to leave the Bronx. I don't think. You can't. You gave up. Look at all you gave up and stuff. You gave up, what, 5, 6 players for him, basically. No. I mean, Higgy is a catcher. That's great. They have Austin Wells right now. So Wells is the rookie. And they have Trevino. So he was hurt most of the year. So the catching's okay with the Yankees. I'm not worried about him.
Higgy was a good catcher, though. That's the thing.
He was a good catcher. He was with
Higashioka was a good catcher.
Yeah, he was with the Yankees 18 years, Rich. I think, not with in the Bronx, but, within the organization. So he was like a lifetime Yankee when he was signed and stuff. So, sorry to see him go. Michael King, great pitcher. He had little elbows injuries and stuff along the way, but, he was that unicorn, the Uber guy, the guy who comes out of the bullpen, the guy who could pitch as a starter. We had that with Ramiro Mendoza, Chad Green, got passed now to King. So seeing King go, I think Clark Schmidt is that guy now. He's the guy that goes to the bullpen, can start whatever. I think Clark Schmidt takes over that role. The Yankees wanted to get rid of Schmidt, but the Padres said no. Schmidt had a pretty good year. I know we made fun of him at the beginning of the year, but he was like one of the most durable pitchers besides, of course, Garrett Cole, Cy Young winner. But, losing Drew Thorpe. Now, I saw Thorpe, whenever I went to a Renegades game, it seemed like Thorpe was always pitching. I saw him pitch about 6 or 7 times this past year. The guy was lights out, but, we have to remember it's single A that he's pitching in. It's high single A.
He also, listen, he has a shoulder injury, not in his throwing arm, but like for a pitcher, like I guess it's your motion. He's coming. I know he's coming off a shoulder injury, right? The opposite, non-throwing.
Thorpe.
Yeah.
Or
I think
King.
I looked at that.
King had the injury. I don't know if Thorpe was. I know King had the injury. I don't know if Thorpe was injured, but he was pretty durable this year. He pitched a full year. Maybe last year he was hurt, but he was Yankees. I think he was a first-round draft pick, but he came from Utah, so he's going out there. So will he pitch this year for the Padres? I don't know. And you know what? We look at the Padres, Rich. The Padres aren't tanking, really. Don't forget, the Padres still have Machado. They still have Tatis. They still have players. They have Darvish. They have Musgrove coming back. I mean, it's a pretty good team, Josh Hader's still there. I don't know if Hader's a free agent or who got traded, but the Padres didn't really worsen themselves. They actually kind of made themselves kind of like neutral where they stand. And who knows? The Padres might go out and win the division this year. You don't know and stuff. But
Eric, any team that loses Juan Soto got worse. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the point that I want to bring up to you too. Like, they say that Soto's leaving the Padres. Like, he's coming into this Yankee lineup. He's coming into such a great lineup. He left a great lineup too, dude. Don't forget. Like, he wasn't in the New York Mets lineup. You know what I mean? He was one of the better. I mean, listen, Manny Machado's not Aaron Judge, but Manny Machado was pretty freaking good, dude. Tatis is pretty fucking good, man.
Yeah.
So to say that he's going to a better lineup to protect him, I don't know if I agree with that so much, because he comes from a lineup with Manny Machado. If he wasn't lazy, or maybe he's less lazy, but he's a top 5 ball player in professional baseball. And like, he's coming from a lineup like that, so I don't know, like, if it's the lineup or maybe it's just where he is. How can he be unhappy in San Diego? I don't know. So, you're going to have to see how it works, man. I can't see it not working.
look at the lineup he's in now, Rich. You know, it's similar. You know, you got the Judge and you got the Stanton and stuff. But you know, you're right though. He came from a good lineup. Had his best year last year as a player too. One of his best years. But you know, don't forget, a 19-year-old. This guy was in the World Series, Soto, and he was killed. I was listening to a game last night. On XM radio, I thought they were gonna have some news and stuff, but you know, he's hammering Garrett Cole in the World Series and stuff like that. You know, he went. Yeah. You know, it's like, geez, remember this guy was 19 years old. It's just mind-boggling how this guy came up to the major leagues and didn't miss a beat and stuff like that.
Now, do you think, you know what too? Like, you also, what I was thinking about the other day is Juan Soto. Listen, we'd say he's 25 years old. Most people bang their prime, 25 years old. But do you think Juan Soto played so well when he was 18, 19, 20 years old because he was 18, 19, 20 years old? He didn't have he had all the tools, but he would play with no avail. Like, he would just get on that field and just play baseball. Like, maybe as they get older and the money starts rolling and they start thinking about this, like, holy shit, someone's going to offer me $500 million. I'm not saying that it's going to, you know, visibly see an effect on him, but you know, as these guys get older, it's like when you play with no avail, like, and throw caution to the wind, like, you know, and just use your body, like even football players, you see it all the time when they're really young. It's like smashing around, like, you know, just using their body as a battering ram. And same thing with all athletes. But then when it comes into question, like, holy shit, I could really make a lot of money doing this. Did you think maybe there's reservations in some of those guys that maybe they do take a slight step back, but not visible, but in their brain, they could get better. But it kind of at that point, wow, $500 million to, you know, telling the minor league coach that I don't need to change my room because I won't be here long. You know, it's like, that's like, you know, that's confident shit right there. You know what I mean? Because you're not making a ton of money. You just want to make it. Now the hunger is not gone, but your hunger gave you $500 million. Now you got to prove it tough.
Well, you know, he's on the big stage now, Rich. I mean, there's a difference about playing in San Diego and playing in New York and stuff like that. But the one thing that does get to me, Rich, is his glove. He's not the best fielder in the world, and we all know that Stanton's going to be the DH and stuff. So the good thing is, right field in Yankee Stadium is not the biggest, so it's a nice place to cover. But then on the flip side, you kind of want Aaron Judge playing right field because, you know, playing center field for Judge, it's a lot of running around and stuff like that. It's carnivorous. It's really big, Grand Canyon like the center field of Yankee Stadium.
I you know what, Eric, I don't want to get into it too deeply, but I kind of disagree with what you just said, because the fact that Aaron Judge is the best player on the field, he should be playing the best position on the field. I don't want to hear that he's going to blow a hamstring because he has to run 10 more steps than if he was playing right field. I just think that you're the guy now, man. I listen, you have all the tools, you got it. But if somebody wants you to play center field, you play center field, and you play center field. So you have to take 3 more steps to make that catch. You're going to make it. You're a big guy. You're not like, there's not an ounce of fat. The guy is shredded. He's an amazing athlete. He's got to play center field, dude. That's just my perspective. You have to play center field, dude.
And then on the flip side, you have Trent Grisham, who's a Gold Glover. So, and he plays center field. So, you know, I think it's a good problem to have, Rich. I mean, you know, when does Giancarlo Stanton get hurt? You know, I think if Stanton gets hurt, then it becomes more obvious. You know, Soto can DH, Judge can DH, whatever, a couple of days a week, whatever. But it's all pending on Stanton. You're not going to see Stanton in the field. You know, you have your outfield now, and who knows? The Yankees might go out and re-sign Harrison Bader now to get a 5th outfielder.
They have to. I think they have to, kind of in the beginning. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, the Martian, he had his surgery last year, Dominguez, so he's not going to be back now till like June. So, you know, when he comes back, you have another problem. So it's kind of like a good problem to have. You got a lot of depth this year where the Yankees in the past didn't have that depth. Greg Allen, McKinney, Frenchie Cordero, Calhoun. I mean, just like these guys weren't players, you know, they were just fill-ins and stuff. So I think the Yankees are in a good spot now. And, you know, Alex Verdugo, too, we must talk about. Verdugo comes in. He's not a superstar, but, you know, he can't be overlooked.
He's a good player. He's a good fielder, dude.
Another guy with a low strikeout rate, Rich. So you see what the Yankees are doing here? They're getting guys that put the bat on the ball, which look in the playoffs the past couple of years, especially against the Astros. The guys couldn't even touch the ball. They couldn't even foul the ball off. You know,
and those are the guys. And those are the guys you need up in big spots, man. Guys that are going to have good at bats. They're going to make the pitcher throw them 10 pitches. You know what I mean?
And don't forget, you still got Gleyber Torres there. Gleyber Torres is another guy that puts the bat on the ball. So you know,
I think they should trade him, dude. I think they should.
That's what I was thinking too, Rich. But
should.
You know, you got these kids, Peraza, you know, and where are these guys going to play? Because it looks like DJ LeMahieu is going to be a third baseman now.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like I said, and now, like I said, the Juan Soto stuff sets in. Your outfield, Verdugo and left. Verdugo and left is more than serviceable, dude. For what he lacks in hitting, he's going to make up for in the field.
Yeah.
But that, like you said, these other problems around. Like, okay, so LeMahieu's your third baseman. It's his least, it's his least strongest position. Is he going to go back to the guy he was? Like, all right, so second base. Like, who's going to play second base? Is Torres mad? Or is he like, because nobody wants to hear that they suck. You know what I mean? Or nobody wants to hear the fans say trade them. Nobody wants to hear that shit. It's all whether you take it. And it is what I want to go back to what you said like a little while ago. I was talking about Soto and the money and kind of like being the guy that like, holy shit, I got to think about that. Derek Jeter was literally the only person I've seen in my tenure eat that shit up. No matter what was said about him, no matter what was said, he's making this money or he doesn't deserve that or he doesn't just even watching the documentary and just listening to him after post baseball, just talk about what his experience was like. He was the one guy, I guess because he was in New York. I never seen anybody in my tenure as watching baseball eat that shit up and use it because no matter how many times they were saying Cashman's stupid for giving Jeter this money, Jeter's on the tail end of his career. What is he going to do? Jeter this, Jeter that. You never heard him say, fuck the fans. You never heard him say, what do you mean? I'm not worth that amount of money. He just went to work every day and just got better and better and better until he physically couldn't do the stuff he used to. But mentally, his focus was still there. I don't care what you guys say about me. Me and Brian Cashman had a conversation. And all these rumors are out there. This is what I told Brian, and this is what we did. And he ate that shit up, man. Nobody, I think, in the history has done that, man. Everybody lets a little bit of that get to them, I think. But he is the only one I've seen in my tenure watching sports eat that shit up.
Yeah, no doubt. And don't forget you got Volpe too at shortstop, who won the he had some wonders this year, won the Gold Glove at shortstop, which definitely will boost his confidence. And I think the offense will be there. He had like 25 home runs this year, stole 25 bases and stuff. So, and that's another thing that Soto brings. He could steal a base here and there, but the Yankees did not get him to run the bases. So
yeah, he still can move.
Yeah, no doubt. And you know what, though, Rich? I was just reading something. It's so funny. It says since the 2000 season, 9 players won Rookie of the Year at an older age than Soto is now. So do you believe that? It's just mind-boggling. And another thing is he's so young. He's been traded 11 players in just 16 months. It's crazy. It's crazy.
But that's another thing, too. Like, why do you think that is, though, too? Why is he traded? I don't know. Let's just say, what? The Yankees, whether this fails miserably or whatever it does, they had to do this. They had to. And that's one more thing that I want to ask you, like before we move on, maybe. I read somewhere that what's his name? I think it might have been Thorpe and somebody else. The Yankees had said initially that they are not together. You can only have King. It was King and Thorpe, I think. I said you can't. I think Cashman was adamant about you guys can't have both of them. You can only have one. You can't have both. What do you think changed at like midnight or what and says like, all right, you know what, you can have both?
I think because the Padres came in and said they wanted Volpe and Dominguez. I think that's what they wanted. And you know what?
They didn't want to open up that can of worms.
Yeah, you don't want to. And you know what, though, Rich? All kidding aside, the Yankees have been a pitching factory. The Yankees just bring out these pictures. Look at all the pictures around the major leagues that came up in the Yankee system. It's incredible. I don't know how they do it. It's almost like Penn State with the tight ends and stuff like that. It's like Yankees are pitching you. And, over the years, how many actual Yankees made it in a Yankee uniform to the big leagues as pitchers? Most of them are traded away and stuff like that. But we'll get to the Yankee pitching in a second. But one more thing. In the modern era, 1901 to now, only 5 hitters have gotten at least 3,000 plate appearances through their age 24 seasons and come out on the other side with OPSs 157 and better. So it's Ty Cobb, Mike Trout, Mickey Mantle, Jimmy Fox, and Juan Soto. So, putting Juan Soto with Ty Cobb, Mickey Mantle, and Jimmy Fox, and even Mike Trout, Yeah. But can you imagine if Mike Trout was healthy in his career? Can you imagine?
Oh, my God. Him and Griffey, dude. I mean, Griffey accomplished more because him and Griffey. Could you imagine I don't know, talent-wise and looking at them and foreshadowing what their could have been like as opposed to what they did. They're Hall of Famers, but the amount of time they missed to injury, man, could have been another. Like they say, Griffey could have hit another 150 home runs, dude. I mean, it's like because he lost like almost 2 years or something to injury total throughout his career.
Yeah.
Trout is running around that same thing too.
Do you think
You know?
steroids are involved with Griffey and Trout, Rich?
No, I
No.
don't. I
Okay.
don't. I don't.
Mhm.
I think maybe it's just,
Just made of
I don't think.
glass. Some guys are just made of glass. Look at Anthony Davis in the NBA. The guy's always getting hurt. There's some athletes are just made of glass. It's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I don't. I don't know.
So
Whatever.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah, no, I'm sorry, Rich. Yeah, so Soto comes to town, and Brian Cashman says, "Hey, you know what? We're not done yet." And Monday is going to be a big day in New York because the Mets and Yankees are both meeting. Well, the Mets, Stevie Cohen and Stearns, they went to Japan last week. Brian Cashman on Old Timers Day was in Japan watching Yamamoto pitch, a no hitter actually pitch when Cashman was in the stands. So it's going to be interesting. The Yankees have number 18 available. Masahiro Tanaka wore that number. So it's going to be interesting what happens in the next couple of days, Rich. I think it's going to be a battle in New York. And I don't even think it's ever happened where the Yankees and Mets were going after one guy. But I just want to hear your reaction. What if the Yankees sign Yamamoto and take him away from the Mets? What do you think is going to happen?
You know what? I don't know, man. Like, that's the thing. What's going to happen? What's going to happen is there's got to be there's got to be a reason. I don't know. I can't yell and scream anymore about incompetence or this, that, and the other. We have a guy that's got a lot of money, and I don't care what Met fans don't start turning on people and just like, let's focus on. There's got to be some kind of internal thing, or there's got to be something going on there that we're not seeing. Like, why would Yamamoto not want to come to the Mets? It's like, why would he? Let's just talk about it prospectively, okay? He's got Stevie Cohen's got all the money in the world to pay. He's going to pay him the most out of anybody. So if it comes down to money, he's going to pay you the most, okay? If it comes to just comfortability, there's people here. Comfortability. There's already Japanese interpreters. He knows Kodai Senga.
Kodai Senga, yeah,
right. He's here. And I'm even going to take the Mets out of the equation and say either why something with another Seattle or someplace with another Japanese influence. But let's just take the Mets, for example, because they're just like, they can't get out of their own way ever, just like the Jets. And he flew out to his house and sat and had dinner with his family. That's got to say something in the Japanese culture. Like, the Mets have done every single thing the right way in the public. I don't know what's going on behind the doors. But if you want to look at a thing from perspective of doing the right thing, from a casual observer, is that the Mets have done every single thing the right way. Why would he not want to come here to pitch? So if he does go to the Yankees, and again, they play a different game. I don't know what it is, but if it just comes down to what team you're going to play for and who went out for you and who did this, I got to say he's got to come to the Mets. And if he doesn't, there's something wrong. There's something internally wrong with the baseball team because it's like, why that's another thing. Why would Ohtani not want to come here? Because we're finding out Ohtani's a little bit of a bitch. So that's what we're going to kind of like, we'll talk on after. But the Mets have lost out to certain players over the years because of the fact that they're the New York Mets. And I truly have to believe that as a 51, almost 52-year-old fan, because we get ourselves excited. Now we're even more excited than ever about free agency. Now we have money to sign guys. There's so many free agents out there. Why can't we get Soto? Why can't we get this guy? But we don't. We signed. I'm going to tell you right now, if there's somebody, they said that the Mets are looking at somebody like kind of like in the background, and they're looking to see where it's going. If it's his kid from what do you call it, from Tampa, and he goes and gives him the money as opposed to I don't want that kid anywhere near my baseball team. And the reason being is because I think there's some kind of Tampa Bay Ray effect when they leave. These pitchers leave the Tampa Bay Rays. They're not Tampa Bay Ray guys. They're pitchers.
Glasnow, right? Tyler Glasnow.
I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole, dude. And I don't know if you with the Yankees, but I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. He wants $25 million a year, dude. He's injured. Okay, first off, and he literally comes. You want to talk about pitching factories? Maybe the Yankees have a good minor league, but you go there, you learn how to pitch. There's something about, it's not even like there's big name coaches over there like they are, but there's something about that atmosphere that pumps out the people and the ability to pitch. Maybe there's something that the Yankees are doing why Jordan Montgomery excelled, or why what's his name excelled, or all these guys that lead our organizations, why they excel. Well, maybe it's in our training staff. Maybe they're not being taught correctly. Maybe they, I don't know what it is, dude. But I think what it boils down to is, I'm going to tell you, and I'm being honest, if he doesn't sign with the Mets, there's something wrong with the Mets internally. and that somebody's picking up on, somebody's either talking about rumors, or somebody is literally saying, you don't want to be near this organization. This guy is a dick and he will make your life miserable. Don't know who that guy is because it won't come out. But rumor mill, if he doesn't come to the Mets, I have to believe there's something wrong with the Mets internally.
So, Rich, do you think changing managers every couple of years, do you think that's a problem with the Mets right now? Perhaps. I mean, that might keep free agents away.
But listen, they outright fired Joe Girardi and they went with Aaron Boone on the Yankee side. You know what I mean? So the Yankees, what I'm saying though is that didn't keep anybody away from that. And right. I also got to think that if you're a young guy, maybe there might have been a stipulation with Buck Showalter was just too old. I don't know. But you're right. There could be something to that. There could be something. But when you got a guy who's like the opposite of what the owner was, and he says, I'm going to do this, and you believe him, I guess players have to believe him too. But then there might be something in the back of my head saying that someone's saying it's bullshit. This guy's a bullshitter. Don't go there. Don't go there because they're in the know and we're not. So there's got to be something wrong internally with the Mets if these guys don't come.
It's crazy. It's like we're seeing the Wilpons version 2.0 with Uncle Stevie right now, you know? I mean, they're bringing in these players, but they're not really going after, like they had a player the other day. He looked like Prince Harry. I said, the Mets signed Prince Harry. You know, it's just crazy. But, you know, there are some good pitchers still out there, Rich. You know, you got Blake Snell, you got Jordan Montgomery, you got Marcus Stroman. Maybe Stroman comes back to the Mets or something like that, you know? But, you know, yeah, I really think, you know, talking about the Yankees pitching, though, you got Garrett Cole, who's pretty solid. You got Nestor Cortez. I mean, you don't know what's up with him. Is he going to come back healthy or not? You got Carlos Rondon. We saw him implode last year, but he has pitched well in the past couple of games. You don't know. So I think the Yankees, if they lose Yamamoto, I think you go out and you get Jordan Montgomery and you get Marcus Stroman. I mean, he said he would never pitch for the Yankees, Stroman, but you know what, though? Sometimes money talks and you know, the comments walk. So you never know. But yeah.
I don't think Jordan Montgomery is coming back to the Yankees because I literally think the Yankees was what was wrong with Jordan Montgomery.
Actually, he said I've read things where he wants to come back to New York. He was so sad leaving the Yankees, going to the Cardinals, which was one of the stupidest trades ever, bringing in Bader for him, because we see what Montgomery did in the playoffs as a big chief for the Rangers and stuff. But you know, you know, do the Rangers have the money? Where the Rangers are paying so much money as is to their infielders and to DeGrom and Scherzer, so you don't know where the Rangers are going to go because Montgomery's going to demand a lot of money. You know, he had a great season last year with the Rangers. So
if it comes down to Montgomery and Scherzer, you got to let Scherzer go because Scherzer is another year older, another back pain, another elbow pain, another shoulder pain. I mean, listen, I know he's Max Scherzer, but at the end of the day, if you got to let somebody go, Jordan Montgomery was no slouch for them last year.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So you know, I think we're all waiting for the Yamamoto and Ohtani to fall, and then all the free agent signings start. If probably what's going to happen next week or so.
Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, exactly. Aiden's texting me. I'm sorry, in the middle of
I thought you were getting a Shohei Ohtani update there, Rich.
yeah, exactly.
So you know, Ohtani, right? Mm-hmm. It's Twitter's blowing up. He's on a plane from Santa Ana, California to Toronto. His Japanese guys on Toronto are making reservations at sushi restaurants, and all these conspiracies were going around yesterday, and we still don't have a contract for Ohtani, and I'm sure he'll do it just like LeBron James did, right? Go on TV.
Exactly. Who do you think this is? Now, listen, I don't know. Maybe we're just getting introduced to Japanese players, but is the what do you call it? Like, what's the dynamic with these guys now? So and Ohtani got a little bit of taste of America and what it's like to be an American diva now. I mean, listen, the way he's acting right now, and again, I don't know if it's even him acting that way. We don't know because it's so secretive. And again, it's great that, you know, if we were to know, of course. Like, what's that idiot doing yesterday? That reporter saying that, I saw Shohei Ohtani in Toronto yesterday. No, you did. What? You know what it is? Stuff like this makes journalists and people on TV lose credibility. So what? You're the first person to say something. Wait till it's credible and then you report it. I'm not in that world, so I guess maybe there's something to be said about somebody being the first person to break a story. But in this day and age of social media, when a story breaks, it runs like wildfire that you literally have to go back and see who's the person that was the first person to break the story, because all you're reading is the fucking story. Now, these guys are discrediting themselves, just like John Heyman did. John Heyman discredited himself last year with the Aaron Judge shit. What are these guys doing? What's his name? This guy that said something that he saw. He's being killed by these guys. Stephen A. Smith discredited himself a couple of weeks ago. Is it that important where you would discredit yourself? Where people just like, oh, all right, he's still that guy because he's still going to give me strong journalism. John Heyman used to be the guy. Now John Heyman's not the guy, because if John Heyman says something, I want to hear it from the team. I want to hear it from the guy, because John Heyman lied. And this guy with Shohei Ohtani, he lied. Take his license away. He lied. You did not see him there. You took a chance and you were wrong. That's not taking a chance. That's lying for your own benefit, because you knew that would have benefited you. So some of these guys really need to I bet it's even decided, like, oh, I heard somewhere that the name of Ohtani's new puppy is where he's going. What do you name him? Dodger, Giant, Yankee? What are we talking about? The name of his dog. So he's running around in his apartment right now saying, Dodger, don't mess up and don't eat all the sushi. Or it's like, stop messing up my Japanese rug. No, he's not. This is stupid, dude.
I think these guys want to be first, Rich. They want to have breaking, but where are they getting their news from? I mean, we saw last year there was a reporter for the Giants who said that Judge is signing with the Giants, and then what happened? 2 hours later, we have Judge signing with the Yankees. So, I think it's all about being first and stuff. But, I just want to get back. December 6th is a big day. The Yankees signed Garrett Cole on December 6th, Aaron Judge on December 6th, and they got Soto on December 6th. So that's a big day. So next year, December 6th, let's see what happens. But getting back to you, Rich, it's all about being, getting on X, or, the old Twitter X now, and being the first one to break the story and stuff. That's what it's. Oh, and it's competition too. They think the reporters can get more, but they do lose credibility, Rich, because we can go on Twitter right now and say that Ohtani's going to sign with the Blue Jays, whatever. But the funny thing is they took the blue check marks away, so you don't believe anything anymore. You used to have credibility with the people. Now anybody can get a blue check mark, and they put stuff out there. Sometimes I have to Google to see if it's real or something like that.
There has to be some kind of consequences for these guys. I don't care if you're John Heyman. There has to be some kind of consequences for these guys for putting out lies, because it's not. What is it? If it's not a lie, then what is it? It's a lie. Because you know what, though? You lied to further your credibility. So you lied to make yourself more of a credible source. But at the same time, you're lying, and you should be discredited, just like you would have been credited for breaking the Shohei Ohtani story. Person would have been lauded. I'm the first guy to do this. Come to me for all information. But you know what, though? You should be knocked down a lot more pegs than you are if you lied to get your credibility.
Yep, there's lying, and then there's giving rumors, and I'm okay with giving the rumors because that's what we love. We love seeing the rumors, like where people are going and stuff like that. But giving the facts that a guy's going to sign, and where is he? He's still a free agent, Ohtani, today. So
yeah, he's hanging out with Arson Judge. That's what he's hanging out with.
Actually, I think they put instead of Juan Soto, they put John Soto as a joke, John Heyman. So I think that was pretty cool, getting back on that. But getting back to Ohtani, Rich. Ohtani had some kind of surgery. We don't even know what kind of surgery he had, but he's not going to pitch this year. He's going to be a one-dimensional guy. He's going to be a DH. So if he goes to a team just to be the DH, what do you do with the other players? So, example, we spoke before the show. You got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. What if Vladimir Guerrero Jr., let's say, hurts himself, but he could still hit? Then what happens? Ohtani's going to be on the bench? I think not.
No. So, I just have a feeling that this is going to go wrong. I think for whatever team signs him, I just have a feeling it's going to go wrong. Maybe it won't. Maybe the guy can go down in history as being better than Babe Ruth. I don't know, or whatever. But I think this is going to go horribly wrong. And I think that he's got everybody on a string right now, and it's kind of not fair to the teams. You know what I mean? I guess it's not fair to. The owners are playing the game. The GMs are playing this game. It's not fair to the coaches. It's not. No matter if you're a brand new coach breaking into the major leagues, or you're a coach that's been around for 35, 40 years. It's like, you want to know what you're working with, even if it's the off season, even if you're supposed to be sitting on a beach in the Cayman Islands somewhere relaxing because it's the winter meetings and you get the week or two off, you're still thinking about baseball. You just want to know who you're dealing with when you get back there in March, because it's important, man. And the guys playing these numbers games, and I don't know if I'm going to come here, or, I want to find out the name of my dog. At the end of the day, it's the coach is like, this is ridiculous, man. Are you going to sign or not? Because and I have to say that there's 32 coaches in Major League Baseball. By not naming names, probably 30 out of the 32, if put in that situation, we're going to say, you know what? I don't give a shit if he signs or not. Just tell me yes or no. I'm not waiting till tomorrow. I'm not waiting. Somebody else, but the coach will be like, yes or no. No. On to the next guy. I need somebody to play first base. On to the next guy. I need somebody to pitch. On to the next guy. I need a center fielder. That's what they want to hear. They don't want to hear that this guy might sign.
Yeah, it's selfish in a way because you want to get your roster set.
Yeah.
The winter meetings were last week. I think that's when everything should get done in the winter meetings. It shouldn't linger. Look at the NBA and NFL when free agency starts. NHL too. It's like a frenzy. Baseball's not that frenzy. Free agency started. What happened? Nothing really happened over the past, month, whatever, since it happened after the World Series. But wouldn't it be ironic, Rich, if Ohtani signed with the Angels, went back to his team?
Again, that would be absolutely insane. That would be insane because then that would lead me to believe that the Angels knew the whole time.
Well, new manager Ron Washington is a great guy to play for. Plus, they have Trout. They got a pretty good team, the Angels. Why not? And why would he want to go to Toronto with the tax? The only thing I could think of, if he goes to Toronto, he's king of the United States, he's king of Canada, and he's king of Japan. So he owns 3 countries, basically. I mean, the Cubs were involved. Yeah, the Cubs were involved.
2 continents and 3 countries. You're right about that, dude.
Yeah, the Cubs were involved, but I heard a thing on the radio. The players don't like playing for the Cubs because the stadium's so hard to get to. It's right in the middle of the city. That's this Wrigley Field, and I've seen it too. It's like right dropped in the city. It's like, where do you live? Where do you drive? So it could be a hassle to get to. So the only sense makes, Rich, Dodgers, Angels, and of course we see the Dodgers as them being the favorites. I would think.
That's another thing. What have they done, the Dodgers? Nothing.
No.
Listen, they've won. I'm not saying they haven't won, but what have they actually done as an organization with that coach, that owner, and all that money and great players? You could talk about championship, winning divisions and pennants, all you want. Doesn't mean shit unless you have a World Series trophy.
It don't mean a thing. Don't mean a thing if you ain't got the ring, Rich. That's for sure, Yeah, and we say, pennants aren't won on paper. World Series aren't won on paper. I mean, the Yankees haven't won anything yet. They got to play 162 games next year. Every team's got to play 162 games. The Braves got to go out there. What if Ohtani goes to Atlanta, Rich? That would be like the dagger if Ohtani goes to the Braves, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my God. I didn't want to think about that, man. That's fucking crazy. I didn't want to think about that going to the Braves.
Yeah. You never know.
Might sneak in.
You put these things.
You know what, though? Again, who knows if Ohtani's not going to pull his UCL again or his whatever again? You know what I mean? So who knows? You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't know.
If it was last year, Rich, he missed it by a year. If it's last year, no doubt about it, he's going to pitch and everything. But now he might not pitch till 2025, maybe mid-season 2025. So that's why you're taking the risk. The guy doesn't play the outfield. Where is he going to play? He's going to be your DH.
What happens if he's so secretive, right? And you sign him, right? And you say, okay, you're pitching every whatever day and this, that, and the other things. Wait a second. I'm not pitching. I want to be a DH. Like, that's not something he could disclose to the team after they sign him, right?
Right.
Or can he just say, oh, my shoulder hurts. I don't want to, just let me DH for the first couple of months. Like, can he do that?
They probably have to have some insurance. So I don't know. But, this pitcher, Kikuchi, who's a friend of his apparently on the Blue Jays, could have a 10.00 ERA, and he has job security, because he's Ohtani's best friend. It's just mind-boggling. But we've seen Japanese athletes in the past. I mean, Senga. You don't see Senga with being a diva. We saw Matsui. He was never a diva, really. Godzilla, Tanaka was never a diva. Yes, I just think it's him. The way he's acting now and stuff like that. Hey, I'm winning MVPs. I'm the best player in baseball. Give me what I want. Give me $1 billion. Yeah. Maybe he'll sign with the Saudi Arabian League. They got the money. They got that baseball league. Maybe he'll pitch with Bartolo Colon.
Sure, why not? If they're willing to pay him, and I'm sure they are. What's $500 million to those guys out there?
Crazy.
Drop in the bucket.
It's crazy. So, if it happens today, it happens today. But if the more and more it lingers, Rich, I think he's being a douche about it because,
he is.
You want to set your rosters and stuff. You want to get your team, you don't want to. Spring training's in a couple of weeks, Rich. After the Super Bowl, spring training starts the week after. We're like, maybe 7-8 weeks away from spring training. So, it's kind of selfish in a way, basically.
Yeah. I hear you, man.
And It's LeBron James all over again. Remember, LeBron
Another
James
guy.
went on ESPN where he's going, and millions and billions of people watched that night to see where he was going.
Yeah. Yeah. All times to say, I take my Terrence to Saudi Arabia. Your Terrence to Saudi Arabia? What do you mean?
Or I take my bat to the Bronx.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Right?
That's a billion players, dude.
Steinbrenner realizes his payroll's going to over 300 million. That was the goal, but he's got to realize it's got to go.
Just stop. Just, you know what? That right there. Just if you, and as you know, with Aaron Judge, that's almost $1.5 billion in players, dude. If that would ever happen.
Look what the Rangers did with Semien and Seager. They're getting $1 billion between them, 500 million apiece. If that, I think it might have been more. But you know what though? It worked out. They won the World Series. So
that's what I'm saying. Like Seager earned his money during this World Series.
And Semien too. Semien, they both.
Yeah, Semien too. Semien had a kind of a shaky start, but Seager was on fire.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens with baseball, Rich. But hopefully the Mets get involved now, because these guys that they're signing, I don't even know who they are. And like I said, Prince Harry's not going to win them many games this year with the Mets.
Again, there's nothing really to talk about with the Mets. Same thing. The Jets and the Mets. Nothing really to talk about, man. They just don't. They can't get out of their own way, and I'm tired of like sticking up for them. I'm wondering, why does this happen, or why me, or always me. I don't know if we talked about this on the last show that we did, but when it's really hard to watch your team do really dumb things, or not even dumb. I was like, you're not the GM, you're not the manager, you're not the football player or the baseball player, but when they don't give you anything to watch, and it's like, nothing for enjoyment, and you just lose, all the wind is taken out of your sails. And you go and you watch another team that's doing it right. Like you said, I've been watching the 49ers because I'm mad at the Jets. And and sometimes I'll just pop on, to watch like the Cardinals, even when they're not doing good, because I'll watch the Cardinals because they're always doing the right thing for their fans. They're always playing no matter what. The Giants is another team, like, in baseball. It's like they could be a team that, they fall off for 2 years, but then they'll win 3 World Series. It's like, it's just teams that you visualize and you see doing the right thing. Now we're going to switch to football in a second. It's like, but I'm not even going to yell and scream about the Jets right now, because right now they're in turmoil too. And I think that their problem is being exposed because of people who are sick of it. And I think it's the same problem with the Mets. There's got to be some kind of inner turmoil that's going on with the Jets. And finally, Aaron Rodgers, maybe he was getting hammered with questions, or he got a conscience, or I don't know what he did, but now he's saying like the Jets organization is chicken shit, which if it all went down like that, it absolutely is a chicken shit move, because if they started those rumors about Zach Wilson not wanting to play, that is a bullshit move. But for Aaron Rodgers to come out and say that there's no camaraderie and there's no talking and there's no, it's like, that's a problem. That's more problematic than money.
Well, Aaron Rodgers can say it, Rich, because he's a seasoned vet and he knows the truth, basically. So whatever Aaron Rodgers said, that's 100%. I agree with him and stuff. Yeah.
Then you get these people saying that Aaron Rodgers is a troublemaker. He's always been a troublemaker on his teams, but why would he come out and say something this big and have Woody Johnson not turn around as the owner and say, you're out of line, you're my quarterback, and you got to stay in place? It's like, you can't say about inner turmoil, leaks. If you want to say that, then, like the guy was talking about the repercussions, if it's true or if it's not true. So Woody Johnson doesn't want to lose Aaron Rodgers, so Woody Johnson's not going to scold him. So that leads me to believe that what Aaron Rodgers says, it has to be true.
Well, we saw player coaches before. Maybe Aaron Rodgers be a player GM because the guy knows what's going on, basically. But Rich, you're like the hypocrite. You were saying sell your tickets to other teams. The Falcons are coming to town. The Texans are coming to town. So I texted you last Sunday. I said, "Hey, Rich, you want to do a show?" And you go, "No. I'm headed to MetLife to see the Jets and the Falcons." What?
All right, I went to listen. I went to the Mets. I got the Mets in my brain. I did. I was very hypocritical. I don't apologize for it, because the only person that would have brought me out to that game is the same person that's just as miserable as me, and that's my son, Aiden. What my son, Aiden, said is, Dad, we haven't been to a game this year. He's like, Aiden, I can't go to this game. It's like, not even just because I said what I said, that's whole, whatever thing, me being crazy. But it's an unwatchable product. We got the tickets for half off. And he's like, Dad, it would be so fitting to just stand there in the pouring rain all day and just watch this team. That would be so fitting for what this team has done to us all year. You know what, Aiden? That's the reason why I did go to the stadium. hey, listen, I'm not going to apologize for it. And yes, I did. I'm a hypocrite for saying what I said, but I bought 2 tickets from one of my wife's clients' son, and we went, and we left at close to the end of the third quarter because I have never, ever in my life been more wet at a sporting event than I was last week. And we just sat there and we were just miserable. He didn't want to leave because he says, Dad, we deserve this. That's Aiden was, I was like, Aiden, we got to go, man, because it was Sunday. I had to work the next day. And I'm like, let's just get out of here. We're gonna, beat whatever traffic there was, but still there's rain. So there's going to be traffic. But we were sopping wet. We got in that car. We left in the third quarter. And I was almost like, just kind of like, when you're saying goodbye to something, it's like, I can't believe I came back just to see if you would have changed, but you haven't changed. And it's just the same bullshit. Tim Boyle can't throw a football. Trevor Siemian has played for the Jets already and has played for, I don't know if there would have been 33 teams in the NFL, he would have played for 33 teams. And then you have a coach in Robert Saleh who was pumping up all this shit in the summer with Hard Knocks. We got to be this. We got to be that. We're tough guys. We're commanders. We're leaders. You are a pussy and you were exposed because you literally said in your press conference, I haven't gone with the quarterback I wanted to this whole season when I wanted to. That leads me to believe that you just go into these meetings and say, okay, and walk out. You don't do anything as a coach. Because if that was the case, then you would absolutely have not wanted either one of these 2 quarterbacks to start a football game. Now, you could say what you want about, like, we got to do something new. We got to do this. We got to do that. Zach Wilson should not have even been our quarterback going into the season in the first place. The GM dropped the ball with not even signing somebody, just somebody. I'm not even somebody to just in case moment. Okay. The Jets are just like the Mets. There's inner turmoil and it's very, very degrading to watch the product that they put out because we do watch and we do enjoy. And I just can't, I'm so done. I'm done.
Yeah.
Beaten up.
The crowd there, Rich? On TV, it looked like there was like nobody there, basically.
No, listen, it was. I have to say, it was a little more than half full. I mean, it was spread out, but it was a little more than half full. So I guess I don't know, man. It's just really like they're not doing anything. I mean, their defense is supposed to be so good. When is there going to be an outright fight on the field between the offense and the defense? Like that's what I'm waiting for. I'm literally waiting for somebody like Quentin Williams to go over to Anthony Becton or whatever, Mekhi Becton, and just literally punch him in the face and say, dude, what are you doing? We're out here scrapping and you're 7 feet tall. You're basically a giant and you can't even block a linebacker who's half your size. He literally lets people walk right by him on that offensive line. And the other 4 guys are worse, if not no better, because it's been a constant rotation of offensive linemen. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but even if you suck, even if you know you have 5 incapable offensive linemen, you still keep them together to have some kind of, maybe something will happen if you play day in and day out. The centers switched a couple of times. Becton didn't want to play because his pussy hurt one night. It's like there's been a revolving door of offensive linemen and a revolving door of comments being thrown around. And this team is in turmoil and they can't get out of their own way. And it's disheartening even to watch.
So I guess on January 9th, Robert Saleh will be cleaning out his office. He's probably gone, right?
He's gone. Is he
and
gone?
I wonder on that. I wonder if Aaron Rodgers picks the next coach.
That's what I'm saying. What happened? Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm so baffled. Like, what happened this year? Like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, is Aaron Rodgers going to get a stake in the team? Is he going to buy the team? He just turned 40 the other day. Now, with this offensive line, the way it is, he's not playing. He's going to get hurt the first play of next year. Because he'll be 41 December 2nd of next year. He'll be 41. He was just 40. Now I'm 51, almost 52. I can't go out and play football. I'm complaining about being an iron worker at 52 years old. was like, this guy, I don't know what's going on. Who's leading this organization? Is Aaron Rodgers completely leading the organization? And somebody needs to turn around and say, you know what? Shut the hell up and play football. Stop trying to run an organization. You're not out of football yet. Just do what we tell you to do, and that's just play quarterback. Or do they give him more leash because he is Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. But somebody has to step up. Somebody is being put a pushover. Somebody is being a big pussy in that organization and not doing what they want to do. And I have to think it's Robert Saleh. And it boils down to Robert Saleh because that has to be your voice of the team. The coach has to be the stern voice and say this shit has to stop. Not the GM, not the offensive line coach, not the owner, not even the quarterback. The coach of a football team more than any other sport, not a baseball, not basketball, not even hockey, more than any other sport. The head coach of a football team has to grab their players by the face mask and says, stop being babies. Zach, you suck. You need work. But get in there. I don't want to hear it that you don't want to play. You get your ass in there and you do what the hell I tell you to do. They need something like that. And that's not being done.
My football team will have a new coach too, Rich. So I'm not. But
football team has won in the last couple of years, man.
Yeah, well, we had, thank God we had Brady and stuff. But, you look at Brady last year, Rich, with the offensive line we had. He almost got killed last year and stuff like that, But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is, Rich. It just seems like it's been a 50-year plan for the Jets. I mean, as much optimism, it just dissipates by like September, October every year. It's crazy. It just doesn't make any sense how a team could be so cursed and stuff almost and nothing. Yeah, I mean, I had Jet season tickets back in the day. There was a year they went 1-15 with Rich Kotite and stuff. I remember sitting a game against, I think they were the Titans or the Oilers. I think they were the Titans finally, but it just poured that day. And I remember just seeing the fans. And I went to a New Year's Eve game against the Saints. There was like 20,000 people in the stands. I forget what year. It's just so depressing, Rich. You need to fill that stadium. And can you imagine if the Jets were good? This year's Christmas Eve game against Washington would be packed. Who's going to be there on Christmas Eve this year against Washington? No, but maybe you'll go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe I should go. Just more torture.
No, tickets $5, Yeah,
but people will be there. That's the thing. People will be there. And by my whole stunt a couple of weeks ago, by Jets fans sell your tickets to the other team. What else are we gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what else as a fan I guess you could just sit there and just take it like you always do. Whatever, I guess. And that's probably of course, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not
and Rich, don't forget, Robert Saleh came from the 49ers organization, right? You would think the 49ers organization would have primed him, for this job basically and stuff, but obviously not.
Now, that's another thing that leads me to believe that something's going on with Zach Wilson because the 49ers wanted Zach Wilson. Robert Saleh was part of that 49ers organization that was thinking about taking Zach Wilson. Then Saleh comes to the Jets. Now we have Zach Wilson. Now, I don't know if there was some kind of thinking like, I don't know. I'm just thinking I'm pulling at straws now. I don't know what to even think anymore because I'm just so pissed off and just so I can't even like I'll watch football, all day. I won't watch a Jet. I probably won't watch a Jet game. You know what? I actually will watch a Jet game tomorrow because I want to see what the Jets defense does if they lay down and die against a good quarterback. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to see because they lay down and died against the Falcons quarterback. And come on, man. And the whole
they got their safety. They lead the league in safeties, Rich. So any bright side for the Jets is they lead the league in safeties.
Yeah, whatever. Safety. They suck. You know what? You know what I got? You know what I got for my troubles last week? I forgot to point this out. I'm gonna open this up right now. I didn't even open them yet. You know what the Jets? This is such a Jet-like thing to do. We walk into the stadium. We scan our tickets. There's obviously a giveaway that day. It's pouring rain.
But you get sunglasses, right? Sunglasses. Yeah.
I got a pair of Jets sunglasses. This is the epitome of the Jets season this year. They give you sunglasses on a rainy day. That's what the Jets are. The Jets are sunglasses on a rainy freaking day.
I would have expected a Zach Wilson bobblehead or something like that, right?
No, perfect analogy. Sunglasses on a rainy day.
When Ben and I went, at least we got towels, the Black Friday towels and stuff the week before and stuff. And
yeah, but you guys can laugh about it because you don't care. You're not fans. You went there to watch football. I would have done the same thing. It's a great day to go watch a football game. Really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
You guys did
tomorrow
the right
too.
thing as football fans.
Tomorrow, CJ Stroud coming to town, and tomorrow what? They're going to be a storm tomorrow. 50-mile-an-hour winds. Look at that, right?
It's going to be worse than it was last week. I'm going to see how many maniacs are in that stadium tomorrow. Because I
And
mean, that was half full last week.
Anybody that has Houston Texans on their fantasy team better look out, because it's going to be a hard day to pass the ball tomorrow at MetLife and stuff. So,
yeah. Aiden's got what's his name? I mean, you were there for that whole drama in our fantasy.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up. I came back from a meeting. I had over 125 texts. It's like, wow, jeez, and all of them are from that chat group, Rich. Actually, I play you this week, Rich.
Yes, I know.
I
made a little switch this week.
What happened?
I made a little switch this week, if you notice.
I didn't notice. No.
I benched somebody this week for somebody else.
Okay.
I benched Pat Mahomes.
Oh, wow. Bold
for
move,
Brock Purdy.
Okay. Gotcha.
Pat Mahomes doesn't perform well. He beats the Bills, but he doesn't perform too well against the Bills.
Yeah, we'll get to
On
that.
the other hand, Brock Purdy is playing against one of the worst defenses in football in Seattle.
Yeah, what if they hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey all day, though? That's the problem.
They could do that too. At least they'll have Debo. Debo will do something.
Yeah, they're like 14-point favorites. We'll get to that. Like I said, we'll get to that in a little bit. But
we'll get to that in a minute.
The 49ers are like a machine, Rich. I don't know.
Yeah, I got shit to do.
Yeah. We've been going about an hour and a half now. But just one other thing I want to bring into it, Rich.
Man.
So the 2000 NBA championship was the Pacers and the Lakers. And 23 years later, the Pacers and Lakers play tonight for the in-season tournament championship on ABC at 8:30. Now, I've been following this, Rich. The Indianapolis Pacers, they're a really good team. Tyrese Halliburton might be one of the best players in the NBA that nobody knows about. He made the All-Star team last year, and he'll make it this year too because the All-Star game is in Indiana. But yeah, it should be fun to watch tonight. But, at the end of the day, I think the Lakers will beat the Pacers again like they did 23 years ago. And your boy LeBron will be holding the trophy in Las Vegas tonight at about 11 o'clock Eastern time.
That's fantastic. Listen. I don't know anything about this playing tournament. I really haven't been following basketball yet because of it.
The Pacers came into it and they killed the Celtics, they killed the Bucks, and now they're playing the Lakers for the championship. So it's been fun to watch. It's a little hard on the eyes because the season's still going on when these games are going on. These games count.
What does that mean for the NBA championship? What does that mean that you won an in-season championship? That's great. But what does that mean on the bigger scale? Nothing, right?
No, what it means, Rich, is that each player gets $500 in their wallet to make the winning team.
Come on, see what the
and
what
and they're playing Las Vegas, so Las Vegas is like the They're lobbying for an NBA team, Las Vegas. So, it's going to be fun to watch. It's the only game in the NBA tonight. Yeah.
But what makes it less? What makes it? Are they trying to maybe up the ante and make the teams perform more in the beginning of the season? Is that the reason?
They're taking the soccer route, Rich, because a lot of these soccer leagues do the same thing. They have in-season tournaments and stuff. So maybe they're making the NBA want to be soccer or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you would think these players play harder and they're playing too. There's no load management during these tournament games, Rich. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
I can't believe this.
Like you'll see LeBron. You'll see LeBron go out there and play 40 minutes tonight. But you know what though, Rich? So if the Pacers win this thing, we're champions of this in-season tournament. They got to fly all the way cross country to play the Pistons on Monday. And, you kind of like you blew your load, basically. Now what, stuff. So we're back to playing in the season again, it looks like, right? So.
Whatever. I think it's ridiculous. I peeked in on the Celtics last night. I know they beat the Knicks.
But that wasn't a tournament game. That was a regular season game. Yeah.
Exactly. See, I peeked in last night to see how they were doing. It's not a tournament game. So what? It doesn't count? Or it counts? What do you mean? It doesn't count. Does it count? Whatever, man. All I know is Tatum scored 25. Brown got thrown out. Porzingis had 21. And Brunson might be out. That's all I saw last night.
And Brunson was playing in garbage time, Rich, which he shouldn't have been playing. So, yeah, that's going to go under the microscope, right?
He was playing in garbage time, I guess. Yeah, but you know what? Though the kid wants to play. I understand garbage time.
You can't blame him for that, And then one more thing, Rich. Today is the 124th meeting between Army and Navy. A great game. You ever go to one of those games, Rich?
No. I've never fortunate enough to go. What about you?
I've been to 3 of them. I've been to 2 in Philly and then one at MetLife a couple of years ago. But I just want to look. The first time I went to one in Philly, I went with my friend. We didn't stay over. We just went for the day. We drove down there, parked the car. It is just like words can't describe it. There's just so much patriotism and so much as I love of being an American. I mean, you just feel, and plus it's the safest place to be, right? Yeah. But it's just like, it doesn't matter who wins the game, Rich. This is what America's all about. And they call it America's game. The chills up and down your spine. I've been to 3 of these, and each one I went to, there's not much scoring. There's not much passing, but these kids, it's their last game. Some of them that are seniors, and then they go out and they do the real world stuff for our country and stuff. So you got to give these kids kudos and stuff. Navy's got the all-time record, 62, 54, and 7. 50 years ago, they beat Army 51-0. You're not going to see 51 points scored today. The game's up in Foxborough today where the Patriots play. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Army's won 5 of the last 7. Before that, Navy won the past 14 games in a row before that. Wow. But it's just a great game to watch. Yeah. And, even if it's like 3-0, these guys, they're going on to, to help us protect the greatest country in the world, Rich. So it's a really cool thing to be at, and just the pageantry, the troop, the kids walking on the field, the cadets, and the alma mater sung after the game. It's just amazing and stuff. So yeah, I'll be watching at 3:00 today. The games will be in Foxborough. Presidents usually show up, but the presidents haven't showed up in the past. Like I think Obama was the last, or maybe Trump was the last president to go. But yeah, presidents go, and when they do go, traffic is a mess. So it's better off when the presidents don't go. And then the Heisman Trophy tonight too, Rich, where it looks like Jaden Daniels, the LSU quarterback, is going to win that. Michael Penix Jr. from Washington, Bo Nix from Oregon. Those 2 quarterbacks are eligible too. And Marvin Harrison Jr., but wide receivers never win the Heisman. The last one was Devonta Smith, who's on my fantasy team, doing wonders with the Eagles. But good, Heisman Trophy will be announced tonight, and it's probably going to be Jaden Daniels from LSU.
I guess. All right. You know what? Again, you find more and more, like, let's see if these kids can, if they can perform in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, Heisman Trophy is what it is. I guess it's a very, very high honor. But let's let these kids get in and play some football, because right now there's some really, really bad football being played in the NFL.
Exactly. We're going to touch on that now. We're going to do our fearless picks for the week now, Rich.
Yes, absolutely.
Here's the update. I have 110 wins, 83 losses. You're 102 and 91. You gained a game on me last week. You went 8-5. I went 7-6. So we both lost the Thursday night game. I texted you who you wanted. I said Pittsburgh. You said Pittsburgh, and you said 5 points won't have been scored. And actually, 39 points were scored, believe it or not. So, but the Patriots won that game. Patriots won that, and the Steelers. I mean, they're playing at home. How the hell do you lose to a 2-10 team? I don't understand it.
I don't know, bud. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know how you lose that game.
And then I have, Steeler friend fans that are calling from Tomlin's head. I mean, Tomlin's been the most consistent coach in the NFL, finishing 500 every year. I mean, I didn't see the game. I don't know if he made some bad decisions or not, but I know the Steelers. Trubinsky's the quarterback now. I mean, I don't know how he's still in the league, so maybe that's why the Steelers lost. But I don't know. But we'll just move on, Rich.
Yeah, move on, man. I can't even talk about that game. That was the worst game ever.
One of the best teams in the AFC, the Baltimore Ravens, 7.5-point favorites over the Los Angeles Rams, who come to Baltimore to play tomorrow.
What's the spread on that game?
7.5. The Ravens are favored.
They're playing in Baltimore. Rams been playing okay. I'm going with the Ravens, man. I just think that the Ravens have to continue to win to keep up with the Chiefs. You know what I mean? And the Chiefs haven't really impressed anybody lately either. So.
Yeah, home field's on the line between the Dolphins, Ravens, and Chiefs. The Chiefs are definitely struggling, but I'm going to go with Baltimore too, because these West Coast teams that travel cross country and get used to the time difference. The Rams will feel like they'll be playing at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So next game, the New Orleans Saints at home against the Carolina Panthers. The Saints are 5.5-point favorites in this game.
I'm taking New Orleans. New Orleans defense has been playing pretty good as of late. The Panthers can't get nothing going. I just hope Thielen has 2 touchdowns so I can beat you in a fantasy. So I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, well, I'm on the flip side, Rich. I'm taking the Saints, but Alvin Kamara is going to get my 2 touchdowns tomorrow to beat you. So look out. The Panthers have the worst rushing defense in the league. Next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals, 1.5-point favorites over the Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts are gonna. This is gonna be the week again that the Colts are gonna pull it out. What's their record here? The Colts.
The Colts they're up there. They're in second place, Rich. Actually, they're in a playoff spot right now. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
I don't know how that happened, but yeah.
The Colts need it more than Cincinnati because Cincinnati's got no quarterback. They got nothing going on right now. So I think Indianapolis needs this game more. So I think Indianapolis wins.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bengals at home in this, Rich. It's a 1.5 point. I think the Bengals showed me a lot last Monday night. I thought they had no chance, and they come out and they beat the Jaguars and stuff in Jacksonville, nonetheless. First time the Jacksonville Jaguars hosted a game on Monday night in like 13 years. So I'm going to go with the Bengals minus 1.5. And now we're going to touch on the Jaguars, who might have some injuries at quarterback there. The Browns hosting the Jaguars tomorrow. The Browns are 3.5 point favorites over the Jaguars.
I'm taking Cleveland just because of their defense. If anybody but Sunshine is out there quarterbacking for that Jacksonville team, even if he plays, he's still going to be hurt. There's no way he's outrunning that defense. Either one of those guys. I think the Browns defense is going to win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jaguars on this, Rich. I think it's a 3-point game, not 3.5. So I'm going to go to Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's going for that divisional victory. They could have had the number 1 seed if they would have beat the Bengals last week, but they didn't. But I'm going with the Jaguars, even if Pretty Boy's not playing. Atlanta Falcons, who you saw last week, so you probably have some insider trading or some intelligence. Atlanta Falcons, 2.5 point favorites over the Buccaneers tomorrow in Atlanta.
I'm taking the Buccaneers all day because even if the Buccaneers are a slightly better football team than the New York Jets, which they're more than that, they should be able to put up 4 touchdowns on this Atlanta defense because the Atlanta Falcons are a terrible football team, and they had their way with the Jets. So I am taking the Buccaneers in this game. What's the spread?
It's 2.5.
I'm taking, and the Buccaneers are minus 2.5.
The Buccaneers are underdogs, plus 2.5.
I'm taking Tampa Bay in this game.
I'm going with the Falcons, Rich. I think the Falcons will win this division. This is a big game tomorrow for Tampa, but Tampa, they're hot and cold and stuff, and I don't know. It's hard when you go against your own team, but I got the Falcons kicker on my fantasy team, so and the Falcons defense I'm playing tomorrow, so I need that victory over you tomorrow. So I'm taking the Falcons minus the 2.5. Then we got Detroit Lions minus 3.5 at Chicago Soldier Field.
This is a game that's the Bears would love to rain on Detroit's parade, and I'm taking Detroit in this game. I've been betting against Detroit the last couple of weeks. I'm taking Detroit.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lions too. Lions are going for that number 1 seed too with the 49ers and stuff. They're up there as well. So I think the Lions will turn on the Jets now. Hopefully that Thanksgiving game was a wake up call when the Packers went in there and beat them. But I think the Lions will win on the road. Detroit minus 3.5. Okay, next the big game, the Houston Texans, 3.5 point favorites over your New York Jets.
Houston Texans. I said my piece about the Jets. Wait a second. Yeah, you know what? Let me torture myself one more time. I'm going to go with the Jets. I have to think that shitty weather, and I have to think Breece Hall, do something. Even though you're injured a little bit, just do something. I'm going to beat myself up and take the Jets again, dude.
I'm taking Houston. I think Houston comes in here. Houston's going for a playoff spot. The Jets are going for the number 1 draft pick, which they probably won't get because they won a couple of games more than the Bears, I guess, are down there. But yeah, I'm taking the Texans in this game. San Francisco 49ers, a big one, 13.5 point favorites over division rival Seattle Seahawks.
I'm taking the 49ers, 2 touchdowns. The 49ers is going to keep pouring it on because you know why? The 49ers heard everybody saying when they lost those couple of games in a row that, oh, what are they going to do? What's the matter with the 49ers? 49ers heard that. Shanahan heard that. Brock Purdy heard that. Deebo Samuel heard that. McCaffrey heard that. And the defense all heard that. They're there to put teams like Seattle, who is in their division, on notice. And this is an on-notice football game that Shanahan is here to win the Super Bowl with this football team this year. And nothing is going to get in the way. That's why I think they're going to cover the spread with 2 touchdowns. And they're going to make a statement against the Seattle Seahawks, a divisional game that they're going to make a statement. We're here to win the Super Bowl. 49ers win this game going away.
Okay, I'm going with the Seahawks plus 13.5. These divisional games are closer than you think a lot of the times, especially when they see each other the second time. I know the 49ers beat them big in Seattle, but I think Seattle plus 13.5, and maybe 49ers win by 10, and I win this game. Minnesota Vikings 3.5 point favorites over Las Vegas in Las Vegas.
Minnesota, man. Minnesota, the Raiders, just like the Jets, they can't get out of their own way. They're even in a little bit more better position than the Jets, but I'm taking Minnesota in this. The new quarterbacks, Jefferson's back, so I'm taking Minnesota in this game.
I'm taking the Raiders. I think the Raiders have been playing some pretty good ball since Pierce took over as coach, at least on defense. They were they were going head to head with Kansas City, and they kind of blew it a couple of weeks ago. But they played good for 3 quarters. But I'm going to take the Raiders in this game. Speaking about Kansas City, the Chiefs are 1.5-point favorites at home against Buffalo.
Buffalo. Tomorrow is going to be the game that Buffalo says, I've had enough of you guys. And Josh Allen actually comes out the victor in Kansas City tomorrow.
Yep, I'm going with Buffalo too, Rich. I think tomorrow's the FU game for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
The coach said some pretty bad stuff about 9/11. Did you hear that? He made some comments about, but that was from like he made an analogy from like 4 years ago and brought up 9/11. So they're bringing it back 4 years later because I think they want to push Sean McDermott out in Buffalo or something like that. So usually these things, that's kind of like, but I think Buffalo needs to save their season, Rich, because, they're hovering around 500, so they need to do something. So I'm taking Buffalo in that game as well. We've seen them play some good games with Kansas City in the past. Okay, then we got the Chargers at home, 2.5-point favorites over the Denver Broncos.
I'm taking Denver. The Chargers are terrible, dude. That game, how do you have a quarterback of that stature and that, he's supposed to do so? How does Justin Herbert fail? This guy's supposed to, he's a Washington product, right? I think, how does he fail? He's 6'6", 200-something pounds. He's like, he's almost right there. They didn't score last week. I mean, come on, man. And the Broncos are starting to come on. Russell Wilson is actually starting to look like a little bit of a quarterback, a little bit of his past self. I got to say Denver goes into Los Angeles and beats the crap out of them because that game last week was horrendous. And believe it or not, Denver's still fighting, man. So I'm taking Denver.
Forget, Rich. Give him the benefit of the doubt. The game was played in New England in that stupid that rain that you were sitting in MetLife and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. But you know what, though? Justin Herbert's better than any of those quarterbacks that was stuck in all that rain shit. You know what I mean? I don't care whether it's the Atlanta quarterback, the Jets quarterback, the Patriots quarterback. They're all stuck in it. Justin Herbert's a superstar, supposed to be a star. This is where you're supposed to take over and beat these teams. Doesn't give a shit about the conditions of the field, or find a way to do it, man. Find it. And he hasn't found it.
I think he does it this week. I'm taking the Chargers. They're back home. They're playing it, at SoFi. They need to get a win. I blame it all on the coach, Rich. I don't blame it on Herbert. I blame it on the coach.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I think Dicker the kicker kicks the game-winning field goal, and the Chargers win by 3. So I'm taking the Chargers minus 2.5. Next game is the Dolphins, 13.5-point favorites over the Tennessee Titans.
The Dolphins are going to win this game. The Dolphins are another team that has to make a statement, and because people are saying that they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl, I kind of see it as well. And I have to think that just like the other team I said that it's just like the Bills. It's got to be a statement game for them too, man. I mean, I know it's the Tennessee Titans, but Dolphins have to say, we got to go up there, and our offense is unstoppable. And Tyreek Hill wants that 2,000 yards. I mean, as much as he wants that 2,000 yards, and Tua wants to give it to him. They have way too many weapons for the Tennessee Titans, and I think that Dolphins, they're going to cover. Dolphins going to win this game.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins too. I mean, even their running game's good, Rich. No matter what, this Dolphins team is a powerhouse and stuff. I don't know. The defense might have a couple of Achilles heels and stuff, but yeah, their offense is explosive. Then we have a big game in the NFC East. The Dallas Cowboys, 3.5-point favorites over the Philadelphia Eagles in Dallas.
I am going. I kind of. What's the spread of this game?
It's 3.5. Dallas favored.
Dallas is favored. I'm taking Dallas in this football game purely because I think it's going to be a really good football game, and purely because I want Jalen Hurts to fail this weekend because you got him in as quarterback. So I'm going with Dallas this weekend because I think Dallas is another team that has to make a divisional statement, and they have to say, "What are you talking about, guys? We are a good football team." Dak Prescott has to say, "What are you guys talking about? I can win big games. I don't throw interceptions." And I think this is going to be the game that he does it, and I think the Cowboys win.
Yeah, don't forget I have Jordan Love on my team too, Rich, so I could play him against the
Ooh.
Giants. So yeah,
Which might be a good move, dude.
yeah, you never know. You never know. I'm taking the Cowboys too, Rich, because they're playing at home. Jalen Hurts hasn't looked good, but you know what? It's funny because I have Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith, and the past 2 weeks they've been on the 4 o'clock game, and I've been behind in my fantasy games, and all I see is those numbers keep going up and up and up. So 2 weeks in a row, I won on the 4 o'clock game with Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith. Although Dallas Goedert's coming back, so he'll take some catches away from Smith, but I'm still taking the Cowboys in this game, and hopefully Jalen Hurts gets some what is it, the push touchdowns to give me 7.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. And then last but not least, we got the Green Bay Packers coming into the Meadowlands, 6.5-point favorites over the Giants. Both teams underdog this weekend, Giants and Jets. So Packers -6.5 over the Giants.
I can't see the Packers losing this football game because all this talk about the Giants might be obviously at their record they can make the playoffs, I guess, whatever. But I think it's more of a realistic approach to say that Green Bay has a chance to sneak in. Jordan Love, something clicked with him, man. Something clicked with him in the last couple of weeks. He's playing good football. He's throwing the ball all over the place. He's making plays. And I think Green Bay obviously has a lot more in line than the Giants because Green Bay is actually supposed to make the playoffs and they're making a push. And the Giants are like, oh, wow, look at this. The Giants might make the playoffs. Packers have a lot more on the line in this game, and I think the Packers are going to win this game.
Yeah, me too. I'm taking the Packers as well. I just don't see the Giants having any energy in this game. And it's there's 2 Monday night games this week. It's weird. They have both 2 Monday night games, the Dolphins and the Packers game. But yeah, Green Bay comes in, they win. Jordan Love really picked it up lately. Student of Aaron Rodgers. I guess Rodgers taught him well because he's been slinging it. So, the questions around him and stuff like that. But yeah, taking the Packers in that one. And that will be the end of week 14, 3 weeks to go.
Let me ask you one little quick question. Like one question I forgot to ask you in the beginning. How do you feel if Florida State withdraws
from their bowl game?
Okay,
so they already committed to the bowl game. So right. I think if you already commit, I think you got to go play.
You're a fucking baby.
We've seen players drop out before, and I can understand why a player's going to drop out.
Not a whole team.
But the whole team, yeah, it's not right. It's not right. You know why?
You're being a baby at that point because in the 70s and 80s with this bullshit system, do you know how many teams lost out on national championships because of the hypocrisy and the bullshit from the 80s? Mm-hmm. Just because you think that you had a better team, which you probably deserve to be there. You probably do. But the hypocrisy of Alabama getting in is you can't stop that. It's like, I hate to say it, but I'm not comparing. It's like the Yankees. It's like the Patriots. It's like the Lakers. It's like they want certain teams to succeed. And the I should really take the Yankees out of that equation because they don't make them succeed. They succeed, but they want certain teams to succeed. And because Alabama beat Georgia in that game is the only reason why they said, wow, now we can make a case for Alabama to get in because they beat Georgia. No, Alabama should not be there. Florida State should. I know that their quarterback situation sucks. The kid broke his leg. It's a horrendous situation, but if you withdraw your entire team, you should be disqualified from playing for at least 10 years.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to have the SEC team in, Rich, because the SEC makes the money, basically.
Right.
You go down south. So, but, unfortunately, a team that goes undefeated should be in the championship playoffs.
Yes.
It's
unfortunate.
But that's what the NCAA does. Basketball is so much different, but you always have teams on the bubble in basketball too. But basketball, it's all played out. It's a tournament and stuff. Football is different. You only have 4 teams in, whatever. But
what's crazy though? Think of this analogy from basketball to football. Think about if George Mason got a chance to play Florida State, and just because of a tournament, you know what I mean? Like you're going to tell me George Mason would even? I mean, listen, they could beat them in basketball, I guess maybe, but you're going to tell me George Mason deserves a chance to play Florida State because just the way some kind of falls? No, Florida State's going to murder George Mason on a football field. But they technically could play them. But I'm just saying from an E1 perspective. So, but this is Florida State. There's a list of obviously that top 25 teams. The top 25 teams should all be able to have a chance to win a championship. Obviously, there's time constraints, and they have to narrow it down or whatever. But you can't just pick and choose who so-and-so went to this school and he's a very important person. So let's appease him to get that so-and-so in. That there's got to be a different system than that.
Yeah, definitely a different system. And they tried over the years and stuff, and they'll never get it right, Rich.
No, I know. I just wanted to ask your feelings on that. You know, I know we're going up right. It's 2 hours now, but yeah,
It's
I
so
just wanted to get
corrupt.
your
College football is so corrupt. You can't,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Alabama could have lost 5 games and they still would have got in. So
yeah, exactly. And I'm going to make a statement also right now about this draft coming up. I never really look at players. I never really point players out because you know you never know who you're going to be. But I don't know where this kid is going to go in the draft, but he should go in the first 3 rounds. Jerry Rice's son is coming out this year of the draft. Now, his college career was, you know, it was okay. You know, it was okay. Well, he started, you know, he was okay. But I think at certain times, you got to look at lineage and you got to look at who your dad was and what he meant to a game. And I'm not saying I'm just saying how he performed on a football field can transfer to a son. And if they had a good father-son relationship, which I'm sure they did, it's like that kid is going to be a sleeper, I think, and like, holy shit, this is Jerry Rice's son. How come he wasn't drafted higher? Because he really didn't. He had an okay college career. He played for 2 teams. You know, he started out with Colorado, and I think he ended at USC. He's obviously being overshadowed in USC by the other guy. But I think that's a kid that these teams need to look at. When you look at family lineage and history, that is Jerry Rice is not going to let his son fail if he tells him to go into the NFL.
Yeah. You can make the same analogy with Pete Rose and Pete Rose Jr., I guess, right?
You're damn right. They're both jerk-offs. All right, Heath, it's about that time, dude. You got stuff to do.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do. And great show. Thanks for doing it. And I'll talk to you a little bit later.
My friend. Yep, definitely. Yeah, it's great. Good
All
time.
right, bud. All right,
okay.
We'll see you. I'll talk to you this week. And good luck with Soto, you jerk.
Take care, Rich. Have a good one, pal.
See you later.
Take care.